After 5 years, Nike caught him. Cool Kicks. Now, I don't know too much about the situation. That's why I'm reacting to the video. And I'm going to let it, play before I say, yo, what's goody, Tango? Say what's up to YouTube. I'm going to let it say first, the facts. But I could at least got my video in with Cool Kicks before you got caught, my nigga. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? I could at least got my video in or something. We could have worked something out.
Here, something strange was happening inside the sneaker world. Federal agents were showing up everywhere.
12 people face federal charges now, accused of stealing more than $2 million in Nike products from the company's North American Logistics Center right here in Memphis.
Federal prosecutors...
How the fuck you get caught doing that shit, gang? Imagine a nigga just trying to hook up the hood with some forces. Yo, I just got caught on the news. Now I got a felony charge on your ass just because you wanted to hook up the whole hood. That shit crazy.
This went on for at least 4 years, totaling
4 years?
$2 million.
Oh, they was stacking the Rico.
Co-owner of Cool Kicks that was taken into custody by LAPD,
including 40-year-old Keith Cannon, who owned Valid Kicks.
Project Blitz, Cool Kicks, warehouses filled with thousands of sneakers, search warrants, evidence boxes, and phones being held outside storefronts trying to figure out what was happening. But nobody seemed to know the answer. There were plenty of rumors about counterfeit sneakers, money laundering, tax fraud, stuff like that. But law enforcement and the government stayed completely silent. No interviews, no detailed press conferences, just
interviews? You expect the government to actually give a fuck and get interviewed over a nigga selling some shoes? Them niggas is not doing that, bro. I don't think them niggas is doing that. They could give a fuck less about the shit. They gonna put the nigga in jail like they already did, but they not finna get on TV and get in front of the world. Half of the world don't even give a fuck about Nike anyway, gang.
A series of raids that at the time seemed to be a little bit unrelated. That's
I take that back. Yo, I actually want the Nike sponsor. So like Nike, listen, Nike, tap in. I fuck with, you know what I'm saying? Tap in.
Looking in. While the sneaker community was trying to guess what happened, federal investigators were allegedly putting together a case that had been going for years.
I told y'all,
and
a Rico.
According to a federal indictment that just got released this month, I think we have answers to everything we need to know. The story didn't begin with Cool Kicks or Project Blitz or even California. It all began in a warehouse that was nearly 2,000 miles away. Nike's North American Logistics Center that was located in Memphis, Tennessee. Every single day, this building moves thousands of Nike products across the United States. If you've ever bought a pair of Jordans or Nike Dunks or anything of that nature, there's a good chance that it goes through this warehouse first. This is essentially the beating heart of Nike's entire supply chain. Products arrive in this warehouse from
Memphis, my nigga,
around the world. They get sorted, packed, labeled, loaded into trucks, and then shipped to retailers across the country, like Foot Locker or Champs or wherever you buy your shoes from. And on paper, it's one of the most efficient logistics systems in the entire world. Every package has a barcode, every carton has a destination, and every movement is seemingly tracked. And every shipment has one small detail that tells the entire system.
So how the fuck is niggas stealing it if it's tracked?
According to federal prosecutors, that tiny piece of paper would allegedly become the key to one of the biggest sneaker theft conspiracies in recent history. And the more investigators looked into this case, the more they realized that it wasn't just a traditional cargo theft.
I apologize, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We do have some people in the chat who are just unhinged. He just needs, some mental, you know what I'm saying, guidance. And that's what we're here for. We don't laugh at my guy. We just support him. What's goody, Augustine?
Was cutting locks or hijacking the trucks or breaking into the warehouse in the middle of the night. The operation allegedly relied on something a lot more simple, and that was the shipping process itself. Imagine you go online and order a pair of Jordans from Nike or the website. The order gets processed, Nike packs the shipment and a shipping label is printed. And that label tells UPS exactly where the package belongs, as long as the label is correct. Now imagine somebody quietly replaces that label before the package ever leaves the building. The box is still scanned and it still gets loaded into the truck and UPS delivers
So how the
it. But
fuck
the
they
only
scan
difference is the destination. And according to the indictment, this is what investigators believe exactly.
Because that's not just simple, gang. At a UPS or like wherever they're doing this, they definitely have 1,000 cameras running 24/7. So it can't just be a simple, you know what I'm saying? It's not just
So
a simple
whenever there's a
one-step
hype
process.
Jordan release, like let's just say, for example, the Jordan 4 brick by bricks, somebody in the warehouse would locate what boxes were filled with these sneakers that were going to be shipped out to Foot Locker or Champs or wherever.
Oh, so they
and
had
when
it.
loading these up onto the UPS trucks to be shipped out to these stores, somebody would slap a label over the top of the one that was already on there. And this new UPS label
Okay.
would then ship it to a different location that wasn't
But the
intended
camera
store.
ain't catch
And this
the nigga,
was
though?
addresses that investigators say had already been chosen by members of this conspiracy. And from that point on, the package would follow the new label. But changing the label was only half the job. And that's because a shipping label sitting on somebody's desk in Los Angeles can't move a single package inside the warehouse in Memphis. So somebody had to sneak those labels inside. And according to federal prosecutors, this is where it became an inside job.
See, I told y'all.
And
What the
court
fuck did I just say, my nigga? There's no way this was just a one-step process, bro. This is a literal multi-step operation. They treated this shit like it was a GTA heist.
Documents allege that one of these organizers was Roy Harvey Jr. And he is seen to be one of the masterminds behind this whole operation. And like a year ago when Project Blitz got raided, it was because of Roy Harvey Jr. He had been seen delivering or using some of these packages around the Project Blitz warehouse, and that's what got him raided.
What the
But
fuck?
according to
It was
this
good at
indictment,
TCM?
investigators allege that he created these shipping labels and arranged the delivery locations and coordinated where those redirected shipments would ultimately end up. Because Harvey wasn't a Nike employee and he couldn't just walk into the warehouse. According to the prosecutors, somebody else on the inside was handling how the labels got on the pack.
What the fuck? And the camera didn't catch not one of these niggas. Not one. They doing all this.
And
He ain't no employee doing all this. Somebody an inside job. You don't got no security, no cameras, no nothing. Niggas just dumb as hell doing their job. Come on, bro.
Indictment identifies a man named Michael Perkins. He was a floor manager inside Nike's Memphis Logistics Center. And Perkins allegedly would smuggle these shipping labels inside of the Nike warehouse where he would give them to other Nike employees. And
How the fuck would he smuggle it in? Through his fucking ass? Like, bro, why the fuck would he, like, what? Why the fuck would he have to snuggle it in? How? Nigga just handing a piece of paper to everybody eating? Like, what the fuck, yo? I'm real confused. I'm really confused.
prosecutors allege that these employees would place the labels onto specific cartons before they entered Nike's
How many
normal
niggas was
shipping
on the
process.
operation?
And like I previously said, nothing on these packages looked abnormal. The packages continued out of the warehouse just like they would on any other day. And that's what made this operation so hard to detect. And this wasn't something that happened just once or twice. Courts allege that between 2022 and 2024, 1,860 fraudulent shipping labels tied to Roy Harvey Jr. was operated successfully through this whole process. And
That's just one nigga though. Mind you, they said it was, I don't know how many people got caught, but it was definitely more than one person. So if he only had 1,000 orders and he ain't even talk about the man.
just to mention, this isn't 1,800 pairs. This is 1,860 boxes that are filled with multiple pairs. Whenever a shoe comes out, sometimes a sneaker reseller will have an entire full-size run. They'll have hundreds or 200, 300
What
pairs
the
of
fuck?
a shoe that's like just came out. Or also in the sneaker world, there's like early pairs. You'll see people have multiple pairs of shoes before they come out, like months before they come
Facts,
out.
I don't know
But
how the
what
fuck them
happened
niggas be
after
getting
the
that
shoes
shit.
left Memphis
How the fuck
was
them niggas?
almost
No, that's a real question, bro. How the hell niggas be getting shoes early and all that shit, gang? I be seeing a lot of niggas with some shoes overly early, and I'm like, hey, I ain't knocking it, but I don't think Nike even know you exist, bro. Not gonna lie.
It's a little more surprising. And investigators didn't follow the shipping labels, they followed the shoes. And that's where this story takes kind of an unexpected turn. And you have to remember, all of this is happening in private. This was before they decided to raid anybody or make any sort of like public thing about this. So by this point, investigators believed that they understood how the shoes were leaving the warehouse. But that only answered half of the mystery, because stolen inventory doesn't just disappear. Somebody has to receive it, somebody has to pay for it, and eventually somebody has to sell it. So investigators started following these sneakers and shipments. Now, according to these court documents and stuff, it doesn't really say how they were able to identify this. Some people say that they put trackers like inside the shoes or inside the boxes. Some people said that they like went over their inventory lists, or I don't know how they did it. I wish I had this answer.
They did not put no tracker in no damn shoe. If you believe that, bro, come on, bro. Click off the video if you genuinely believe that. Now,
because that'd probably make this video a little bit more interesting, but I don't know how they tracked down these shoes from the Memphis warehouse to...
Bro, ain't no way they tracked down them shoes, bro.
Instead of these
there ain't no way.
sneakers showing up at retailers like Champs, Foot Locker, maybe a Nike store, these boxes of hundreds of pairs of Jordans would go into an undisclosed location, and they would essentially just be dropped off by UPS. So after these shoes were being unpacked, they were being sold at sneaker conventions, sneaker stores,
these niggas
and
had
other
the
sneaker
fucking
websites.
method.
And some of these pairs were just placed into a warehouse or the backs of stores to be sold in eventually. And like I said previously, if you have some of these shoes that don't release for 4 months and you have like 100 or 200 pairs, that looks really suspicious. So in some cases, they would just...
Nigga, fuck you mean look suspicious? Nigga, I'm finna resell that shit for 100 extra profit. Man, I'm talking about, I got the shoe 4 months ahead, and I know you was a fiend for this shoe. Yo, I finna get overcharged, gang. I ain't gonna lie. The shoe may be $150 when it come out. Shit, I'm charging your ass $620. I ain't gonna lie. $620 if you want it. $600 cash. I ain't gonna cap.
Keep these shoes until like a week or two after they released and they were hot and everybody wanted them, and then they'd begin like flipping them. So I'm assuming that's where some of these shoes would end up in like warehouses and stuff. But investigators started looking into resale businesses, and the further they followed these shipments, the more these certain names kept popping up. One of them being Chicago Emporium, which is a large Chicago resale business. Another one being Whorehead Investments.
So they got caught up.
There was one name that stood out above all the others, and that name was Cool Kicks. And if you've been around sneaker culture for like the past decade, you know who Cool Kicks is. Cool Kicks wasn't a small reseller operating out of like a storage unit. It was one of the biggest sneaker stores in America. NBA players, rappers, celebrities, all.
But you gotta be careful with the nigga like Cool Kicks though. They the type to charge you $500 for a pair of all white Air Force Ones when they only supposed to be $120, and that's really too much in the store. So you gotta watch out for these sneaker resellers. Y'all gotta watch out.
People bought shoes from there in Los Angeles, and their videos reached millions of people on the daily. And for a lot of sneakerheads, Cool Kicks represented the top of the resale world. They were definitely one of the most popular sneaker resale stores and YouTube channels in this entire business. So a lot of people think that it's just a deal that owns it, the guy that's mainly on the face of the channel. But there's another man named Barakat Abraham, and he also goes by BK. But in these legal documents, he is accused of playing a role in the early stages of this conspiracy. The prosecutors allege that between July 2021 and May 2022, Roy Harvey, which is the mastermind of this, he received 149 shipping labels that were associated with the Cool Kick store.
So that's 149 orders.
Because those
boxes,
labels were allegedly used.
Not shoes. Those are just boxes. That's just the big boxes that can have multiple shoes.
Before Harvey began creating labels through his own company, which was RHJ Global, which in other words, prosecutors believe that this whole scheme was evolving over time.
Facts. Like these niggas are smart with it though. These niggas was getting businesses, so the way they can cover up their tracks, they literally, bro, that shit is smart as hell, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You can't even knock that.
huge, massive like operation. It started with just like a few people. And when the money entered the picture, things get more serious. But according to the indictment, between April and November 2023, Cool Kicks allegedly sent approximately $127,000 to a man named Keith Cannon, who was also mentioned in these documents for this whole scheme. On top of that, they had allegedly sent another $88,275 to Roy Harvey Jr., who was the mastermind. But before we jump to conclusions,
over
those
200 racks right there.
Guilt. Some people say that Cool Kicks was just buying shoes from this person and they didn't know that they were stolen from Nike.
Okay,
and I'll leave
good
it up
excuse.
to you guys in your own research to figure that out. But when reading the legal documents, there was some more evidence that kind of stood out. In September 2022, Roy Harvey allegedly asked the co-owner of Cool Kicks to create fake invoices. And the prosecutors alleged that these invoices would make it appear that these shipments were legitimate. And this would allow these packages that may have gotten held up in UPS to then be released. So on the off chance, if these sneakers are being transported from the Nike facility to these undisclosed locations, if or when these packages got held up, you would have to provide
Nigga, is this
something
the
that says,
evidence?
like,
Are we watching evidence?
you bought these shoes before they would be
This
released.
literally looks
And
like
that's
a
where these
U-
fake
I mean, that's a
invoices
U-Haul
were
truck,
about.
but that
Basically
could have been
saying, like,
from the
hey,
warehouse.
I paid Roy Lee, this guy, X amount of money, like he's delivering these shoes to me because I bought them. But in reality, they were all coming from the Nike warehouse illegally and stolen. But this is just a conspiracy. This is not proven fact. I'm just simply telling the story how it is. Also, according to the indictment, Chicago Emporium was allegedly purchasing large quantities of shoes connected to this operation as well. Federal
400
prosecutors
dang,
alleged that
bro.
Joel DeLuna,
These
I think
niggas
is
was
the owner
making
of Chicago Emporium,
bank
he
off of
negotiated
these
with
shits,
Harvey
bro.
to receive unreleased Nike products. Meanwhile, another Los Angeles retailer, Whorehead Investments, he allegedly also sent nearly $700,000 in wire transfers connecting to this government's investigation. So
700,000, bro. You know what the fuck I could do with 700,000 right now, yo? We got the weed, the bitches, the bottles. I'm sorry. 700 racks, I'm fucking it all up. Weed, bitches, and bottles, gang.
everybody that
Gotta
I just
be
named
honest.
were
I gotta be honest,
resellers
chat.
that
Priorities
were allegedly
cooked.
sending money to Roy Harvey to get these shoes so that they could flip them themselves or sell them in their store. And piece by piece, shipment by shipment, and payment by payment, what first looked like a warehouse theft was beginning to look like something that was much, much larger. The prosecutors believed that they had just uncovered an alleged distribution network stretching from the floors of Nike's warehouse in Memphis all the way to some of the biggest sneaker resale businesses in the world. But if these investigators spent years following these shipments,
That's what
and
I'm
following
saying.
the labels,
So they
and
just-
following the money, what finally
How
caused
the
this
fuck
whole
they
operation
following?
to fall apart? Well, for years, according to the federal investigations, the operation kept working. Shipments continued to
What
leave
server?
Memphis, labels continued to change destinations, and businesses continued buying inventory. And remember, all of this was done in secrecy. They were spending a while trying to figure this out and piece this together before they began just raiding and arresting everybody. But from the outside, nothing looked different. Nike was still shipping shoes, UPS was still delivering them, and the resale market was still growing. And when it comes to
Facts.
a resale store, when customers walk in and buy a pair of shoes, they don't know where they came from before the store. Like I
Facts.
said, these are
I
resale
low-key had a conspiracy though that these niggas that just saran wrap you down or maybe after the vid, the sneaker sellers that saran wrap they shoe and just put it on one of these white shelves with the fake grass on it. I'm convinced they shoes be fake anyways. I'm convinced they should be fake, bro.
They
You're not
buy
finna
them from
convince me
people
some
and
Panda
resell
Dunks
them
is
because
90
they're
I mean not
shoes.
90
So the customer
$300.
has no idea of knowing where these were previously before the
You do
resale
that
store.
shit too?
And investigators were quietly piecing together things that didn't seem related at first. A shipping label here, a payment there, phone records, wire transfers, delivery addresses.
Yeah, they
on their
didn't
own,
even-
None of those told.
Yo,
the
appreciate
full
the
story.
rose,
But
Blur.
together, the prosecutors were able to form like
Yeah,
a
sir.
pattern. And then one moment changed everything.
Okay, so
In
who
January
snitched?
of 2024, Roy Harvey was arrested in Los Angeles. And this was when the popular sneaker resale warehouse and platform Project Blitz got raided. And for those who don't know, Project Blitz,
You
they're
legit
huge.
have
They
carpet
a
on
YouTube
your
channel,
walls?
and they've even been on like Pawn Stars. They make videos pretty much showing off some of the rarest sneakers that you can possibly buy in the world. But supposedly, after they gathered this evidence, they arrested him with 28 cartons of stolen Nike products that were
Damn.
connected to this whole conspiracy. And that is why
Damn.
Project Blitz got raided, because somehow, some way, he was delivering shoes to Project Blitz. But the Project Blitz story is an entire video on its own, and all the
Temu
controversy
carpet
that
cap.
comes with that. But this was one of the first moments that investigators could say that they could physically connect redirected shipments to somebody in this operation, and that was Roy Harvey. But this arrest didn't stop the investigation.
Child, what are the odds you bought, or I bought, or anyone has bought? It's not for no dang Temu, dude. No. But we could have possibly bought one of these stolen Nikes right here. And just didn't know. And just didn't know. Who's to say this is not still going on at Nike right now? Like, niggas just get more sneaky. That don't mean they stop.
They went through Harvey's phone, his financial records, and they found connections that led to new leads.
I mean, at least you have
investigators
it.
weren't just looking backwards anymore. They were starting to connect the pieces on this whole map.
All right, they
After
got the
mastermind
evidence on
of
this,
whole
man.
thing got put away in jail. Now the business is still going. That means somebody's still doing this, and people are still buying this from Nike. And that's when they realized this whole operation wasn't just centered around one person.
What?
It was an entire team, and it was 12 people to be exact. And so the investigators, they kept going. They kept reviewing financial records, they kept interviewing witnesses, and the case kept expanding. And this was when everybody started to get raided. Like I said before, the Project Blitz store got raided, and then the Cool Kick store also got raided while on live stream. This became like a huge viral moment.
On live?
Selling shoes on a live. The police busted in, and then there's all these clips of them getting arrested. Everybody thought this was because they were selling counterfeit shoes, and that's not at all the case. As
On live, though? Where
well
the
as there was
clip?
clips online that showed a house that got raided that was completely full from like top to bottom with Nike
Damn.
shoes. And on top of all this, the Chicago
Yeah, that's definitely a
warehouse that
stash
was
spot.
Chicago Emporium also got raided. When
That's
all of this
definitely a
was
stash
happening,
spot.
Nobody really knew why. Like I said, everybody speculated counterfeit shoes, and everybody was slandering Cool Kicks, saying they sold like fake shoes, and that's not true.
Nah, they ain't
as
sell
well
fake
as Project
shoes.
Blitz, they got bashed everywhere for this.
At least they ain't
but
sell
in
fake
reality,
shoes,
they
though.
probably just bought a few pairs of shoes that were stolen that they didn't know about. But regardless, all these business reputations.
At least they shit not fake, though. I mean, nigga like me don't really give a fuck about that shit no more. But like, isn't it crazy that niggas go crazy over a shoe? I mean, this nigga made a video about the shoe.
Got cooked.
I'm
But in
reacting to a
July
video
of
about
this
the shoe.
year,
You
a
watching
federal
me
grand
react to the
jury
video about the
returned a
shoe?
sweeping indictment charging
This
12
person watching this video is watching me, watch you, watch me, watch him talk about the shoe. So we are breaking, you know what I'm saying, the fourth wall. Yeah, I see you, bro. Just shut up. Okay.
12 people with offenses including conspiracy, interstate transportation of stolen property, and wire fraud. And of these 12 names that were in this were Roy Harvey Jr., BK from Cool Kicks, the Chicago Emporium guy,
Talking about some
Perkins.
bro,
you guys can
relax.
read the list
I'm finna
yourself.
snatch
But
your
for the
mind,
sneaker
gang.
community, this was the first time that these allegations were made public. And suddenly, all those raids, all those rumors, and all those unanswered questions, they finally had context just this month. But this story isn't just about Cool Kicks or one warehouse. It's about something much bigger. It's about how an industry built on hype and scarcity created one of the most perfect environments for an operation like this to exist.
Chat, would y'all took the charge? Is niggas taking the charge? For Cool Kicks, then niggas say, you gotta go do this. How long is he even locked up for? How long is he even locked up for? That's the thing. We don't even know. I wouldn't put you as my favorite creator.
But like I said, everything
Show
in this
proof.
video is just alleged, and everybody
This ain't
in
no
case
alleged.
is
It
innocent
happened. He's in
until
jail.
Guilty.
He's
I'm
in jail.
simply just stating what was in these documents.
He's
I'll
in
pop it up on
jail.
the screen right here. Cool Kicks actually made a statement about this and their co-owner and what's going on with them. I'll let you guys read that on your own. But in my opinion, the most surprising part about all this isn't the whole like illegal scheme. It's about what happens to the sneakers. You see, these $2 million worth of shoes, thousands of
yeah,
pairs that were
facts, 'cause, like,
stolen. Where did they go? Well, the answer is they went into the resale market. These are authentic Nike shoes, and they were sold to customers that had no idea where they came from. You see, like,
not gonna lie, this ain't even
for
Adidas,
example,
this
a
is
car
Nike.
has like a VIN number on it, and so if
Checks
you get
over
caught with
stripes.
the car, you get arrested. It's whatever. With sneakers, there is almost no way to identify the history or where the shoes came from, other than just like a receipt or a word of mouth type of thing. But platforms like StockX, Go, eBay, and certain resale stores were all selling shoes that were stolen from Nike, and they didn't know it. As well as all the stores that were not involved.
Yeah,
in the
we
scheme
definitely
that
bought
the
some stolen
just
shoes
because
before.
they wanted to flip
We
them.
definitely
Like,
bought
for
them.
example, if I had 30 pairs of these shoes that were stolen from Nike and I sold them to somebody else and they sold them to somebody else,
After
and,
this
like,
big
you get what I'm
bet.
saying? It's hard to track all these down. So there was plenty of people in this whole scheme that were selling shoes that were stolen that they didn't even know it. And that's what makes this case so much different.
So are they
It
still
wasn't
doing a
counterfeit fake shoes.
crime?
It was real authentic Nike products that were just being circulated everywhere in the United States. And the sneaker community spent months trying to figure out why all these people got raided, and it seems like now we finally have some answers. And
Okay.
that's for you to decide. Once again, I'm
July
just
Stop
Spare
making your
says
voice-
stop making your voice deeper for the stream, lil bro.
You can literally go on my past VODs, my past clips, my past everything. I've never faked my voice, my nigga. Excuses. Say word to folk, I fake my voice. Say word to folk. Say word to folk, bro. Because what the fuck, gang? When have a nigga like me ever faked a voice, bro? Like, come on, bro. Y'all gotta think I'm just some goofy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all must think I'm just some goofy ass nigga, bro.
But the answer to this entire mystery was sitting on the box
Something wrong
the
with you,
entire
Julie?
time from the very beginning, and it was just a shipping label. And also one of the most elaborate
sound like Kim
schemes
Carson?
I think I've
Cap.
ever heard in sneaker history. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
That shit is crazy, bro. Hey, free that nigga out the chain game, bro. He was just trying to sell shoes instead of selling them bricks in the streets, bro. Free that man out the chain game, man. Free that man out the chain game.
Bitch, got them hoes, yeah. My whole process, yeah. My whole do what she wanted to do. I'ma fuck that bitch in the back of the coupe. Ain't going outside, can't fuck with these dudes. Got a bag on me, put a bag on you. Bing black in the back of the spot, holding the block. Get fucked by dudes, yeah.